Sanjay Gupta, MD, CNN Saturday and Sunday morning, 7:30 Eastern.
In 1978, she attempted the world's longest ocean swim, 103 miles. But bad weather forced her to quit after swimming for nearly 42 hours. She got right back in the water the following summer, and to this day, she holds the record for the longest ocean swim without a shark cage, 102.5 miles. Now, at 61 years old, she's still at it, training to go back, break her own record, and swim the 103 miles from Cuba to Key West. I'm so delighted you're here. I meet people in my life that really inspire me, and I've told you this before. I'm not going to embarrass you again, but you really are just an inspiring person. I'm glad you're here.
Thank you, Sanjay.
It's been just a little bit of time since we saw each other last. You got some big announcements to make.
I do. I mean, the progression quickly is that, as you said, it had been some time since those days of of my 20s. Hadn't swum for 30 years. Last year, got an inspiration turning 60, decided to train for Cuba.
Right.
The mystique of Cuba was still in my heart. And trained for a year, got ready, got really ready. Was walking around in August like I could walk through brick walls. Knew I could do it, and government permissions, winds coming from the wrong direction, lowering sea temperatures. It's been a feeling of helplessness, and I've been, up against a wall against it, and so now we've had to postpone it all the way till next summer. It feels like an eternity right this minute, but I know it'll seem like a short time once we get back to organizing.
So for sure next summer?
Yeah, for sure. For sure. July.
So many different factors here. Yeah, I mean, you mentioned some of them, the winds, the temperature of the water.
Yeah.
What ultimately sort of made it now that you decided to?
It was the water temperatures. You know, I need mid-80s. You know, and people at home can say, mid-80s is like a bath. Come on. It's 77 now, right off Key West.
Right.
Way too cold. I'm into hypothermia. I was doing 4-hour swims last week, and I was in shivers by the end of 4 hours. So what are you going to do at 60 hours? The mind can overcome a lot, as you know. And if there are rough seas, I can say, well, I don't like it, but I'm strong. I'm going to make it through. The hours could go longer. We say 60 hours. If my trainer comes and says, I'm sorry, Diana, we're recalculating, it's going to be 80 hours. I'm tough, I'll go, but I can't pretend the water isn't cold.
Right.
I can't get over it mentally.
What is it that you, I mean, that whole mental toughness, though? You said this to me before, that anybody can sort of prepare for this sort of thing, but there is a mental toughness that you have that's different. I mean, let me ask a simple question. What are you thinking about even when you're swimming for that long?
Well, you know, it ranges. You know, you go into really sort of deep existential, philosophical thoughts. You really do about life and the meaning of life and what you're doing with your life and the mystery of the universe. And then you're swimming along singing Bob Dylan songs, you know, beat by beat, just to get through the hours. Right. And I think that the high of it, though, and it's sort of a life metaphor, is the commitment. If I say, I'm going to go from this shore to that shore, and I don't care what happens in between, I'm going to stay in there. I don't care if I cry and I scream with pain on the shoulder. I will stay in. And in your life, I tell you the truth, the having to break down this crew right now and wait until next summer because of the helplessness of waiting for the weather to change has been much more difficult.
I bet.
Much more difficult than the whole training.
They're part of your family.
Yeah.
One thing that comes up a lot, and I want you to take a look at this with me, you don't swim with a shark cage. And this is a big concern. Take a look at some of this video here. Specifically, what you're going to see is they're actually going to chum the water, and they're going to see what happens with the sharks. No surprise here. That's a chummed line. Okay. Sharks going right after it.
Yeah. They're taking the bait. Okay.
Now they're going to basically use a sort of electrical probe. They're going to electrically charge an area around this chum and see what happens. Same chum, electrical line. Sharks aren't getting anywhere near it.
Oh, I love this video.
You have not seen this video before.
I have not seen it.
This is important, Diana, because this is the type of technology that could protect you. How do you feel when you look at something like this? Well,
you know, I'm pretty sure what they use for this. I don't know if it's exact electricity we use, but we have a device. It's called the Shark Shield. Divers use it to go under. They wrap it around their arms. But there's a kayak next to me. And they literally duct tape this long antenna on the bottom of it. It sends out an elliptical field of electricity. But now that I've seen, that's the first time I've seen it in video.
We wanted to show you in person.
Thank you.
And this is something that obviously necessary to try and keep. And we wish you the best of luck. We're going to be there with you.
Thank you.
Next summer, whenever it happens,
to it.
for sure. Diana
Thank you, Sanjay.
Walking inspiration.